Waiting for an eagle or something.
And back at Burgess Snowfield for the kickoff of the Pigskin Roundup Spring Jam. First game tonight on the docket is the Pleasant Valley Raiders taking on the White Plains Wildcats. Pleasant Valley set to return the opening kickoff. And it is not going to make the back receiver. It's going to be picked up at the 25-yard line and immediately down. That is going to be number 24, Aaron Pock, a ninth grader, with the opening kickoff.
One thing that fans should know at home is the way they orchestrate these spring games is no live kicking. They've determined, according to the statistics, that the kicking game is where a lot of players get hurt. So what they're going to do is simulate the kicking game. So you'll have the kicker actually kicking the ball. You'll have the fielders actually covering the kick. You'll have the returners actually receiving the kick, but you can't advance it at all. You'll just get it where it's at. That way we'll do with punts and with kickoffs as well.
Makes good sense. Aaron Lewinsky, the man that, of course, Gerhard talked about the open, leading the Raider offense. He's going to run the little read option to the left. Going to be a nice, tough 3 or 4 yards by Dakota Jones, a sophomore running back for the Raiders. And we'll now look at the classic home furnishings. Starting lineup for the offense for Pleasant Valley: Matthew Norton, the freshman running back. Dalton Bean, we mentioned him, longtime senior running back. Josh Preston, wide receiver, junior. The other junior as well in there. Casey Cochran, junior on the left side of the tackle. Jordan Lambert, Chase Graven, Nick Odell, and Mason Langley, the senior offensive lineman, on the right side. They got a 3 receiver set with a tight end over the right side. And again, it's going to be a little spread. Bean carrying it over the right side. He's going to be just short of the first down. He's going to call it the 39.5. He'll need another half yard for that first, so it'll be 3rd and short for Pleasant Valley.
If that Bean name sounds familiar, his older brother Kyle Bean was a fantastic player for this football team back in, I would say, the 2006-2007 era, and then right before him was another Bean. He was a big offensive lineman, so Dalton Bean following the steps of his big brothers, but he is the last Bean to come through, and he's a good one, and that's been a good family for the Pleasant Valley Raiders.
A stock of beans there for Pleasant Valley. 3rd and short. Lewinsky hands it off to Bean again up the middle, and he's going to power over 2 White Plains defenders. He's going to be good for about 6.5 and give him a first down. Look at the defense now for White Plains, brought to you by Classic Home Furnishings. Got Landon Austin, Liam Giddy, Cade Shaw, Daniel Blanton. I'm going to let you take the junior linebacker there. Austin Champion, Jordan Giddens, Caleb Morrow, Landon Price, and also Taylor Morrow. An 8th grade defensive back there for White Plains. You'll see 2 8th graders back there for this young White Plains defense. Lewinsky now sets up with an offset backfield. Takes a snap in shotgun formation. They're going to go right back to Bean again. He's going over the right side. Excuse me, that's not going to be Bean. That's going to be actually number 33, Troy Payne, another senior in the backfield.
Yeah, this Pleasant Valley football team, they don't do anything that's outside of the norm. They might run a shotgun formation, but they very much have pro-style principles, philosophies, so to speak. They want to run the football. Even if they line you up and spread you out, it's still really man-on-man kind of football. Offensive linemen getting to their blocks. As you see, Lewinsky now is a new position for him as well. So you probably want to call out running plays just to get him comfortable and then probably air it out, try to sneak one on him.
So Drew Lewinsky now in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. He's going to fake the handoff, take it himself, cross the 45, down into the, well, he's not quite done yet, down to the 41. Nice tough run, and that'll give me good for another first down.
This Pleasant Valley offense has been rolling on all cylinders, and right now they've just been rolling with their running game, whether it's the zone read across the outside or if it's straight up the field. So nothing pretty, nothing fancy from Pleasant Valley, but it sure is effective. And for White Plains, this is also a time where these players can show their head coach how they compete. When a new coach comes in, you don't necessarily always have the stigma of what you always had. You can always kind of reinvent yourself, and so a lot of these White Plains players will have the chance, guys that are on the field right now and guys that come on the field later, have their chance to get on tape what they want to see in the summer.
Bean actually winding up at this time in the slot, but Lewinsky's going to take it himself over the right side, and that's going to be good for 9 yards maybe. So that running game for Pleasant Valley looking really strong right now.
And it helps when you have a running back a quarterback who's essentially a running back. He played running back all last year, so all the principles and all the philosophies and everything that he carried last year as a running back, he now takes to him with the quarterback role, and so now he has head coach Jeff Davis in his ear all the time telling him what plays to run. So it's not necessarily one of those positions where he just finds out if he's going to get the ball. He knows he's going to get the ball. It's about what he's going to do with it afterwards.
So now going to be set up with a 2nd and short. Fakes the run. Lewinsky looking deep. He's got a man in the end zone, and it's going to be caught for a touchdown. Dakota Jones, sophomore receiver, hung out there long enough, stood there, and waited on a beautiful pass by Lewinsky.
Give Dakota Jones a lot of credit because this play seemed broken up and it seemed covered by Landon Price. The safety did a good job staying back, but when Lewinsky just kept creating motion, kept creating time across the close side of the formation, just watch number 4 back in your screen. Just keep moving back, and give your quarterback a chance. Slips right behind the back part of the defense. Lewinsky just puts it up and has his first touchdown pass as a quarterback for the Pleasant Valley Raiders.
Makes it a little bit easier, too, when the defensive back can't find footing. He slipped not once but twice on that play. Safety wasn't able to get there in time, so Pleasant Valley draws first blood here tonight at Burgess Snow Field. So the first points are on the board for the Pigskin Roundup Spring Jam 2014. As we mentioned, we got 3 contests set up for tonight. We got 2 tomorrow night and a slew coming up here on Saturday. A lot of teams from around the state are going to be joining us here in Jacksonville, Alabama, for a lot of high school football. Outstanding little event, and that extra point is going to be no good. So 6-0, Pleasant Valley on top of White Plains. We'll see the Wildcat offense when we come back to Burgess Snow Field.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Tim Hodges, Don Hudson, J.D. Hess, and Rudy Abbott, asks that you take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. With our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums, our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. You'll be glad you did.
We're making a new Honda at Sunny King Honda more affordable than ever with low lease payments all month long. Lease the new 14 Accord LX for only $199 a month. Lease the all-new 14 Civic LX for only $159 a month. Lease the CRV LX two-wheel drive for only $209 a month. We have a great selection of certified used Hondas, all with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Sunny King Honda, exit 188 off Interstate 20, where customer satisfaction is king.
And back at Burgess Snow Field, where the Pleasant Valley Raiders lead White Plains 6-0 their score. And Wildcats set to receive their first kickoff of the night. It's going to be a short kick picked up by 8th grader Drew Hudson and automatically going to be down right there. So at the 30 is where White Plains will take over. First look at this Larry Strain offense in the white and blue. He's been for years in blue and orange down in Woodland. And boy, they put up some fantastic offenses, a lot of big names and running backs and quarterbacks, that we've seen deep into the 2A playoffs. Now he's trying to recreate that magic a couple of miles up the road at White Plains.
Yeah, Larry Strain is a good coach. We saw him last year. He brought his Woodland Bearcats here for the Regional Gridiron Challenge. They'll do it again, this time at the Spring Jam.
And that's going to be a beautiful play defensively by Pleasant Valley. Number 64, Logan Beatles, a 9th grader across the front for the Raiders. Looking pretty good so far in his first attempt on the varsity squad here. A sack for a loss of, going to give it maybe a loss of 5, maybe 4.5. White Plains going to be set with a 2nd and long nonetheless.
Also remember, the HSAA gives you 10 days to prepare, including this game. So they've only been on the field with each other 9 days learning this offense.
Rolling right, passing, finding receiver. Number 17, Cody Bentley, the 10th grade sophomore receiver for the Wildcats, picks up 6. It's going to be 3rd and 9. Here's a look at the offensive starters for White Plains: Drew Hudson, Blake Rozelle, Caleb Turner, Caleb Morrow, and Cody Bentley. That's going to make up the offensive athletes. Logan Wright, Austin Henninger, Cameron Cleveland, Calvin Thornburg, and Cato Shaw make up the front line. No seniors across that front, 4 juniors and 1 sophomore for White Plains. So we'll see how this offense looks in the 3rd and long situation. As Hudson takes a snap, he's going to hand it off quickly to Morrow, who's going to find a hole and then lose the football. Still on the ground. Scooped up, I think that's going to be by Bean off Pleasant Valley, and the Raiders are in business down at the 26-yard line.
Wow, what a play there by the defense of Pleasant Valley. They were able to get the strip and get the fumble recovery, and they set themselves up in fantastic field position. But this is where you start to see where White Plains isn't as familiar with their offense as they're going to be. Of course, during the summer, they're going to go to passing camps. They're going to open up fall camp in early August and get themselves right for the season. But right now, some early nerves to start out, and Pleasant Valley taking full advantage. Had a great offensive set in their first series, looking for another one here in the short series on the short side of the field.
And they cannot handle the snap, but they do pick it up. Down to the 20-yard line is the quarterback, Dakota Jones. Excuse me, Drew Lewiski. And more bad news for White Plains is they lost that fumble, but more importantly, we saw a possible injury as Calvin Thornburg was helped off the field by his teammates, kind of arm in arm. Hopefully that young man is okay. Definitely don't want to, I'll give up a fumble in spring practice. I don't want to lose a starting offensive tackle in a spring game, though.
And that's exactly what most coaches will tell you. The number one thing they want to come out of spring altogether is no injuries. You can lose the game by 100, but you just don't want to lose any players that you can utilize in the fall.
So the senior Bean and a freshman Gabe Sanford in the backfield for Pleasant Valley, and Lewiski's going to take it himself. Another first down for the Raiders down to the 12.5, giving them the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 for PV.
That was just a nice read by Drew Lewiski, and that's one of those quarterback things that you need to have. You just need to have those instincts. You need to know when to pull it. You need to know when to check it. You need to know when to check out of a play, check into a play. So those are the little things that Coach Davis really felt comfortable with when he appointed Drew Lewiski as his quarterback, and so far he's been perfect.
Got a timeout on the field. White Plains wants to talk it over. We'll see what Pleasant Valley can do when we come back to Burgess Snowfield in just a moment.
About this time last year, our air conditioner just flat died.
It was completely worn out.
So we called Kelly with Calhoun HVAC. He showed us our options, and we chose all new high-efficiency Ruud heating and cooling systems.
Now they're comfortable and saving money.
And we're sure glad we called.
Call us today and get up to a $1,200 rebate and a 10-year worry-free warranty with a new Ruud system for your home. We're Calhoun HVAC Services, an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer.
At RMC, we love serving people in the small towns of Northeast Alabama. The lifestyle, the food, the people. But make no mistake, there's nothing small about the care we provide. In fact, we're a member of the UAB Cancer Network and have the Blue Distinction Award for cardiac care and are rated in the top 5% in the country by the Commission on Cancer.
It's not about the size of the town.
It's not about the size of the town.
It's not about the size of the town.
It's about the strength of our regional health system.
And the White Plains defense coming out of the break, hopefully regrouping a little bit, trying to catch their breath because it's been all PV so far here tonight with a 6-0 lead and threatening now after the fumble down on the 25-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 13. See what Drew Lewiski and company can come up with here. Again, the same formation as the play before. You got the senior Bean at fullback and then the freshman Gabe Sanford at running back. Man in motion. Lewiski with a snap. Fakes the handoff. Takes it up the middle. And he's going to weave his way for a couple of yards. Give him, actually, about 5. There's some sneaky yards there on the inside, the way things move around in there. You can't really pick it up, but he kind of followed the fake. He went behind Bean after he kept it and was able to have a nice gain there for about 5 yards.
And that's one good thing about having a former running back as your quarterback. He's able to find and sneak those yards. He understands the importance of falling forward. He understands the importance of getting that ball out there. And any extra yard will help, especially down here in the red zone. They still can't pick up a first down inside. Looks like the 3-yard line.
Sophomore Caleb Turner now joining the fun in the backfield. Bean going to stiff arm a man and go left side. Pushes his way through, down to the 2, fighting for yards and in there for the touchdown. A beautiful, strong run by Bean in there for the 2nd touchdown of the night for PV.
We've said it before and we'll say it again. Those Beans know how to run the football, and his older brother did, and now he's doing it as well. He's just a very, very tough runner, has natural instincts to know when to juke a guy, when to finesse a guy, and when to just the power run it. And that's exactly what he did here. Use his quickness to get to the outside and then use the power once he got down by the end zone. And there you see him just barreling Wildcats all over the place. Kept those feet turning, and he will be a promise mark for this team as they head now to the future, because last year, Lewinsky and Bean had to split carries. This year, Lewinsky's your quarterback getting the ball every play, and he can fake it to Bean, or he can pull it and run it himself both directions. So it looks like they'll go for 2 here.
Same setup, just the other side of the field. Lewinsky, he's got all day to run, and he will tiptoe into the end zone untouched for 2. 14-0 Pleasant Valley, and that looked pretty easy there, that last play. For PV, they're looking really strong here today, Jake.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And one thing that you always know with Jeff Davis teams is that they will play hard and compete, and that's exactly what they're doing today.
So we'll go to break, come back with more as White Plains tries to get on the board on offense.
When it comes to the financing of your home, experience counts. At Jackson Mortgage Company, put that experience to work for you. There's a reason homeowners across East Alabama have chosen Jackson Mortgage Company since 1994. Jackson Mortgage Company is a full-service mortgage company offering VA, FHA, and conventional financing with competitive rates. Let Jackson Mortgage Company put their experience to work for you. And you remember, if you need a home loan, call my daddy.
Downey Drug, serving Calhoun County for 4 decades. Recently voted the best pharmacy in Calhoun County. We emphasize personal service, answering your questions, filling your prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Being locally owned and operated, your money stays in your community. Our prices have been compared to all area pharmacies, and once again, we win. Isn't it time you experience the best pharmacy in Calhoun County? Downey Drug, Welborn Plaza, Alexandria.
All Pleasant Valley so far as they lead White Plains 14-0 in the opening game of the 2014 Pigskin Roundup Spring Jam. White Plains now set to take off their second kickoff of the night. Short kick, and it's going to be recovered down at the 31, so that's where White Plains will start. John Holder on sideline for us. What you got, John?
All right, guys, let's going to talk a little bit about the weather. It feels like football season. After we had temperatures in the upper 80s, close to 90 this week, we're sitting here at about 64, 65 degrees. Once that sun sets, we're going down to 45 tonight, so it feels like football weather. If you're at home, you want to come out, watch the game tonight, be sure to bring a jacket. It's going to be pretty cool out here by the time we get to that third game tonight. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, John. And at least it's better than the last couple of years when we've had some thunderstorm activity.
Right.
And actually had to go back inside a few times. But tonight, none of that. Got a little overcast skies, but a little blue popping through there. Nice chill in the air. Good night for football, as John mentioned. First down for White Plains. Going to be a loss of 1 as the carry goes short of the 30-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 11.
And if you just cut us on at home, this is the first of a 3-half set today, so to speak. It'll be White Plains, Pleasant Valley, and Ohatchee sort of playing a round robin. You see Pleasant Valley and White Plains playing right now. Our next game will be White Plains and Ohatchee, followed by Pleasant Valley and Ohatchee. So each team essentially plays a full game against 2 different opponents.
So White Plains will try and get something rolling here as Hudson is in the backfield. Going to take the shotgun snap. Fake the handoff. He's got a receiver downfield, but he's not open, so he's going to take it himself. Weaves his way for a couple of yards, gets about 3.5. So it will make that third down a little bit more doable, and they're going to look at about a 3rd and 8 here. So a good job not making the mistake, finding something positive there on offense.
Yeah, Drew Hudson is an 8th grade quarterback for White Plains, and he takes over who many people will think will be the quarterback, Colby Burgess. He's injured right now, so it looks like Hudson and Burgess will have a bit of a quarterback competition as the year goes along and as the summer and the spring camp circuit goes along and passing camp circuit. So we'll see which one takes the reins of the Larry Strain offense in the fall.
I tell you, it looks pretty good out there for just being a 9th grader. Now he's rolling to his left side. Tough spot there, and he's going to be dropped for a loss of about 10 or 11. So it's going to bring up 4th and long. Defensive starters for Pleasant Valley who have been really good. R.J. Simpson, Logan Beatles, Hunter Beatles, Jordan Lambert, and Troy Payne. They make up the front 7 or front 6. Thomas Emery, Dakota Jones, Chance Ferguson, Elijah Borders, and David Pock make out the defensive backs. and the one final linebacker in there as well. They have been stout so far tonight, no question about it. And now back to return the punt for PV. Of course, you have the man that we've mentioned a lot tonight so far, Drew Lewiski, and also senior Troy Payne. We'll see how this works out.
This will look funny to you at home because they're not going to cover this. And with these spring games, a lot of times what you want to do is save your players, and statistics have always showed that you get the most injured on plays like this. So you want to continue to get your guys, especially your kickers, some work. So you don't want it to be wasted time for them, but want to keep everybody safe and injury-free, or as injury-free as you can get. And so punts and kickoffs will all be done, but not executed to the whistle.
So PV will start out once again looking to add to their 14-0 lead. 3:09 here left in the first quarter of action tonight at Burgess Snowfield. Pleasant Valley will start off at the 44-yard line. And looks like we're going to have a timeout call here by Jeff Davis. Wants to talk it over. Maybe he didn't have the right personnel in there. Certainly couldn't be upset with how his team looks at this point, so he'll get it hashed out, and we'll come back for more action here at Burgess Snow.
The physical therapists and athletic trainers at Dr. Clinton Ray Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy are dedicated to bringing the patients of Northeast Alabama the most advanced therapy treatments available to return you to your active lifestyle. Dr. Clinton Ray and Dr. Jeffrey Lawler are both committed to providing excellent surgical care of your orthopedic needs. The doctors and therapy staff have the desire and experience to treat you like a world-class athlete, but with a personal touch.
Ever have to unfriend someone on Facebook? No hard feelings or anything, but it was just time to move on. I want to help you unfriend your old car today and give you something to tweet about. Hey, this is Randy Visser from Talladega Ford with a deal everyone will like. Unfriend your old car today by trading it into us, and we'll give you $5,000 over Kelly Blue Book value for it. Now that's a deal worth sharing. Still making payments on a car you hate? Trade it in even if you owe way too much on it and get in a nicer, newer car with little or even zero money down. Come see us and start taking your selfies in a nicer, newer car today.
And back you see the fans taking in a little football action here in the middle of May. Here in Alabama, nice night for it, though. If you are watching at home and want to catch a little football, you still got plenty of time tonight. We'll be going to probably about 9:30 or so, depending on how these games run. We got 3 halves of football going on tonight, and also mentioned plenty of action up here as well on Friday and Saturday. Boy, if you like high school football, Saturday is a day to come down to Jacksonville State and take in some football, because there are teams from all over the state, from Florence to Deschler. I mean, there's all over the place. They're coming down here to play some football right here in your own backyard. So take some time, come on up here and watch some football with us. And a beautiful pass to the tight end, number 1. Josh Preston, the junior, slips behind the linebackers, and Drew Lewiski puts it right on the money. Goes 56 yards for the touchdown, and White Plains trails 20-0 with 3 minutes to go here in the first.
You couldn't draw that up any better than what White Plains did. You see, they just sucked in the defense for just a half second, and Andrew just gets behind the defense, and the penalty flag you'll see will be waved off. You might have saw towards the end of that play, one of the players from White Plains accidentally, air quotes, unaccidentally, air quotes, tried to trip him up, and that is highly illegal for safety reasons.
I don't know. I think Daniel LaRusso would have been proud of that kid. That was a nice attempt there. Didn't get it down, though. But I tell you, that little spread run action has really done a good job of bringing the linebackers up. You know, they haven't really done anything quick. That was just a beautifully drawn-out play. If that's what Jeff Davis is talking about during that timeout, maybe he had that thought at that moment. I'm not sure, but whatever it was, great play call. And this time the extra point goes through, so 21-0. Boy, PV can't look much better than this if you're looking for a good start to your spring action.
Firing on all cylinders. Quarterback Drew Lewinsky, running backs, receivers, everybody's just executing at a high level, especially the defense as well, because White Plains hasn't been able to cross the 50-yard line at all at this game. Keep in mind, though, that White Plains is 9 days into this new offense. New offense, new terminology, defense, new terminology, new blitz schemes. Everything is ready or not as ready as it's going to be a little bit later on for that man, Larry Strain, in White Plains. And most coaches will tell you that the scoreboard is not insignificant, because it is, but that's the second, third, fourth, fifth last thing that you want to think about is actually winning the game. Here you want to see effort, attitude. You want to see high tempo and very, very, very high competition. Here you see Larry Strain.
And, there you see the kind of the stat board on Larry Strain. But, the name's even bigger than what you see on that screen, just because of what he's been able to do, the type of program he led down in Woodland. 16 years, led him to Super Sixes in 04 and 06. And also coached 2 girls basketball state titles, what you mentioned before. But, he's done all that, and that was back in the 2A Region 5 era.
Right.
When you had Clay County and Lineville and Randolph County, all these teams together, and he held his own against all those great teams and, took him to 2 state title games. I know he had Trey Strain, a couple of his sons there playing, and then, just a long range of athletic success down there in Woodland. And I know they certainly miss him down there, but White Plains is the benefactor of that, and they're going to look to see if he can maybe do the same up here in White Plains. And that's kind of, I guess, what everybody's wondered. Can you do this at White Plains, called a quote-unquote basketball school, because that's what they're mainly known for. You got a great baseball program, but haven't been able to quite put it together on the football field as of yet.
Right, and they've won 5 games in the past 2 years. They went 3-7 the year before that, 3-7 the year before that as well. So not a long track record, not a long track history of winning and going to the playoffs. Actually, they haven't been to the playoffs since 1994. So it's been a long time, and Larry Strain comes in. He's been to the playoffs with Woodland every single year for the last 10 years, including those 2 state championship berths, as you mentioned earlier. So it's really one of those positions where a good coach meets a nice opportunity and a good challenge in White Plains. Also keep in mind, with the reclassification, White Plains now bumps up to Class 4A Region 6. And tough. In that class is Cherokee County, Cleburne County, Crossville, Hoax Bluff, Jacksonville, Sacs, and Sardis. So he's got his work cut out for him, but I'm sure he loves the challenge. He knew that coming in. He knew exactly where White Plains was going to be coming in before he said yes to the job and signed on the dotted line. So he knows he's ready for this challenge, and we'll see what the Wildcats can do as this season rolls along.
But I tell you, he's taking over for a head coach that had his own right of success, too, before he got here.
Right.
He turned that Mumford program around. Got them to the playoffs, went down to Andalusia, had a state semifinal run down there with Nico Johnson, and he comes up to White Plains, gets a couple of good years, not able to make the postseason. We'll see if they can't build on that. But like you mentioned, going up to 4A, boy, that's going to be an incredible task here for White Plains. Going to get the carry over the left side on a 3rd and 5. Macy Carr, another 8th grader. So you see 2 8th graders in the backfield for White Plains. That's going to bring up 4th and 5. This time they're going to punt it away from their own 35.
It's very promising for Pleasant Valley. As you take a look at that defense, really string that play out. You want to play with good technique here in the spring, and a lot of times you can get discouraged by the scoreboard. But good technique is what all these coaches are going to talk about, whether it's the lineup, the formation, how you execute your job. A lot of times it's not about making the big plays and the oohs and the ahs and the things that everybody gloats about in the fall. A lot of times it's doing the simple things, doing your job well, and then rolling from there as we see the simulated kick. So quarterback Drew Lewinsky will take that ball. And it'll be interesting to see your quarterback. You don't see that too often in the fall. Quarterbacks returning punts.
Calls for the fair catch down at the 39-yard line. I think in this level you kind of lose sight of who's quarterback, who's kick returner. They all kind of do it all. And so far, he's relished that role, at least tonight, so far, as they look pretty good. 21-0 is your score. PV will now look to another signal caller as Elijah Borders, the junior, will come out to call the plays and run the offense for PV as Lewinsky takes a seat on the sideline.
And Lewinsky's name will be called once again as PV will take the field. They'll take a game break as White Plains faces Ohatchee, and then he'll come back as Pleasant Valley will face Ohatchee a little bit later on, and there you just see more Dalton Bean. And I'll tell you what, he's been fun to watch over the last few years, and he's heading to his senior campaign, and he wants to build upon what he did last year. Split the carries, as I said earlier, with Drew Lewinsky last season. Had about 500 rushing yards last year. Lewinsky had about 1,500 rushing yards. But Bean actually rushed for more yards as a sophomore. Then as a junior, kind of fell off as far as yards go. But you'll see his production go up this year. I'm sure of, as he takes most of the carries here in the backfield for these Pleasant Valley Raiders.
Right now, it just looks like he's the bigger, stronger player on the field at this moment between the two schools. And off up the middle, right side. And that is a beautiful spin move down to the 35-yard line. And I believe that's Emory Thomas, a sophomore running back for PV. So they're kind of showing a little depth here. Depth that they will need, as you mentioned. White Plains moving up. Pleasant Valley moving up as well to 3A.
Absolutely. Class 2A to Class 3A, of course, with these classification, the reclassification that the HSAA did back in January. Pleasant Valley will move up as well. Their region opponents, Asheville, Glencoe, Ohatchee, Piedmont, Welborn, Weaver, and Westbrook Christian. So in the very next game, they'll see one of their region opponents when they play Ohatchee a little bit later on today.
Nice move as he goes to the right side down at the 14-yard line. Same carrier, Emory Thomas, who's down for another first down for PV down to the 15. Take another look. He makes a quick cut right there at the line of scrimmage and makes a couple of guys miss. Nice run there by the sophomore.
And this is a good time. It's a good time for them, some of these sophomore guys, some of these second-team guys, some of these JV guys to actually get their name out there with Coach.
Into the first quarter, all Pleasant Valley at this moment, 21-0, and they're driving again. We'll see what they do when we come back.
Sheriff Larry Amerson is a proven professional law enforcement executive, a man of integrity with education, experience, and training. Selected to be the president of the National Sheriff's Association in recognition of leadership and innovation, he is prepared and eager to continue to protect the people.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Larry Amerson is a proven professional law enforcement executive, a man of integrity with education, experience, and training. Selected to be the president of the National Sheriff's Association in recognition of leadership and innovation, he is prepared and eager to continue to protect the people of Calhoun County. Vote Amerson in the Republican primary on June 3rd to re-elect a proven conservative leader, Sheriff Larry Amerson.
This is Larry Amerson, and I approve this message.
We are celebrating all month long at Buster Mall Chevrolet during our 67th anniversary sale. And to celebrate, we are offering huge discounts on all new Chevys, like the new 2014 Chevy Silverado. Save over $7,500 off MSRP. Or the all-new 2014 Chevy Impala, only $25,660. So don't miss our 67th anniversary sale at Buster Mall Chevrolet at our original downtown location in Heflin for the difference worth driving since 1947.
All right, about to begin quarter number 2 here at the Calhoun County Pigskin Roundup Spring Jam. Pleasant Valley having the lead 21-0 over White Plains. And I'm here with the head football coach of the Alexandria Valley Cubs, also the athletic director, and Alexandria this year, the host of the Calhoun County Spring Jam. And Coach, this began way back in December with meetings to plan all of this out. Tell us about the process.
Yes, we started around December, have a meeting between the 7 coaches in the Calhoun County school system. And then we try to invite an 8th team. This year we were not able to get an 8th team, so that's the reason we have kind of a round-robin format tonight. But then you move on, and for me to take any credit whatsoever in running this would be a shame because our principal, assistant principal, faculty, teachers have just gone overboard to get this job done. John, there's people that have to keep the gates. There's people with parking. There's people in the hospitality room. It's just a huge endeavor for a school. And our principal, assistant principal, and teachers, have just done a great job from what I've seen tonight.
And you've had a lot of other things going on. May is a very busy month in the schools. Your golf team, your softball team going deep into the state playoffs. You got all that going on. Spring football practice, and then trying to organize an event like this too.
Yes, I know it's really been hectic on our administration and teachers because, our softball team, they're leaving tonight, I think around 5:30. They're headed down to the state finals in the state tournament in Montgomery. We had the golf team last week playing. I think they came in. Well, I know they came in second. And then, graduation a week from tonight. So it's really put a lot of work on the people at our school.
All right, Coach, thank you. We'll let you go. We'll get back to action here between Pleasant Valley and White Plains. You play Sacs tomorrow night. We'll see you here back at Burgess Snowfield.
Okay, thanks a lot, John.
Frank Tucker, the Valley Cubs, back to action now with Pleasant Valley and White Plains, quarter 2.
Appreciate the work down there, John, as PV will start at their own, or the White Plains 15, and it's going to be a nice job by the White Plains defense. They take him for a loss of about 1. They're going to call the forward progress down there. By the way, tonight's game is brought to you by Calhoun County Commission and also by the Regional Medical Center in Anniston, sponsors of tonight's game between Pleasant Valley and White Plains, County Commission, and also the Regional Medical Center in Anniston. So now Pleasant Valley set up with a 2nd and 11. Same setup as before. As we mentioned, Lewinsky is still on the bench, probably taking a breather because they'll go for another couple quarters tonight. Elijah Borders is a junior quarterback. He's got the offense in hand at this moment. And this time he's going to fake the handoff, shed a defender behind the line of scrimmage, and 2 more at the line of scrimmage. Spins, gets down to the 12.5, giving the 13-yard line. So a good pickup there of about 5, as he had 3 defenders he had to go through to get to that point.
Yeah, it's a really, really good play and really good run there. Jeff Davis has to be really excited about the way his second team, so to speak, has come out to play here in this second quarter. And you take a look at the PV sidelines. On the edge of that sideline, Drew Lewinsky is actually making some of the plays, some of the play calls for that team. And take a look here at Jeff Davis and some of his credentials.
14 years as a head coach, of course, is 10th at PV. Done a really good job here. This is a team that I think they had lost like 30 or 35 games in a row, had a state record at that point. And he came in 3 playoff appearances. That's just tremendous at what has been known at Pleasant Valley. He has really done a great job at this school and really turned it into a respectable program. This is going to be a 3rd and 8. Going to be stopped short down to the 10-yard line. Tough running there, but it's still going to be a little bit short. Not sure if they're going to go for the 3 or for the first down. It's going to be 4th and about 5. So Jeff Davis, the head coach we just mentioned, has a little decision to make. At 9:45 to go here in the second quarter, and a 21-0 lead.
He's also the offensive coordinator, so to speak. Brings in every single call. Of course, he has helpers as far as position goes, but 4th down calls, 1st down calls, 2nd down calls, he's got them all as he enters his 10th season here with the Raiders. And he told me this week, he said that his team underperformed last year. He felt that they had the talent to win more games than they did. Went 3-7. He felt like they had some talent to get them 6-7 wins, get into the playoffs, and he wants to bounce back this year.
4th and 5 is going to be stopped for a loss of 2. So White Plains, with their first spark of the night, can they build on it? But they're going to have a long way to go to do so. They'll set up at shop at their 12-yard line with a 1st and 10.
Nice look there at Liam Giddy.
Big stop there by White Plains, as Giddy, the junior defensive tackle, making the big stop. And we'll see that White Plains offense take over from this point. So 3 folks in the backfield for the Wildcats. Going to send it to the deepest man, straight up the gut for a gain of about 6. It's going to be number 6, Blake Roselle, a 9th grader. You don't see many juniors or seniors or anything like that contributing tonight here for White Plains. All on the youngsters so far tonight, at least on the skill position side.
It'll be a true test for this team as they head into the playoffs and as they head into the regular season, if they can make the playoffs. Is what these young guys can do, because they have to replace guys like Johnny Bynum last year.
Yep.
Running back Mitchell was his last name. Just a core group of guys. Del Reddick was their quarterback a couple years ago, and also last year, 2 or 3 year starters. So a lot of these skill guys that have got the chance to really hone their craft over the last few years, now these guys take over. Those guys won 5 games. They won 5 games the year before that, 10 games in the last 2 years. So these guys really trying to build on what they did last year.
Have not had a first down yet tonight. Go for the third and short. Going to be a power run. Does he have enough for the first? Yes, it will. Looks like they're going to give him the spot of about a yard plus. So the Wildcats move the chains for the first time tonight. It's going to be number 42, Caleb Turner, a sophomore. Again, another underclassman for the White Plains squad, picking up the big first down.
Should be noted, for those of you at home not familiar with the AHSAA rules, you're allowed 10 practice days. In college, you're allowed 15. Then you have those J-Day games or A-Day games. This is the J-Day, A-Day Spring Jam game for a lot of these high school teams. It happens to be televised just like those games are, but they only have 10 practices, not 15.
Beautiful run there by Turner. Gets a lot of room over the left side. He's going to pick up 8 on that first down run. So maybe White Plains getting a little steam here. As we mentioned, not much time to work so far in this offense. A lot of youngsters out there had the injury at quarterback. So they got a freshman, or excuse me, an 8th grader behind center. This offense trying to gain a little steam. After the first down, first pickup, an 8-yard gain. We'll see what they look like here on 2nd and 2.
Big part of these spring jams and big part of spring games in general is to keep everybody healthy. Also to learn and know your offensive position, because this is the last time you'll be in pads for a while.
Nice ball fake there by Hudson. He's going to go up the middle for another first down for White Plains. A gain of 3. Down to the 36. So with 7:12 to go, trying to get a little momentum built. So I guess if this isn't the 8A or the J-Day game, would this be the WPPJ game?
And then
WPPV.
WPPV
game. Just take out the second P and just say WPE. I don't know.
You have to work on that for every game?
Yeah, I just thought of that myself.
That's good.
It's amazing.
That's good stuff. But
if Mom could only hear, she'd be so proud right now. A nice handoff up the middle, but a lot of blue jerseys in that backfield. Great job by Blake Roselle to find some room in the backfield to pick up 2. It looked like it was going to be a loss of about 1, so great job by the sophomore to pick up a couple yards there to get him a positive gain. 2nd and 8 now at the 39.
Coach Larry Strain obviously installing this offense little by little. You don't want to just dump it all on the kids in just a few days. And so I'm sure he has lots and lots of plays that he will bring out as the team, starts to head through their summer workouts. But dealing with somewhat limited playbook at this juncture of the season, as a flag comes out, we'll see what that flag is as the pass is incomplete.
Pass by Hudson was thrown a little bit hot to the receiver. He's only a couple of yards away. And we'll see what the flag is anyway. PV defenders are saying that it's against the folks in white. We'll see about that. Or maybe we won't. Yes, holding on Pleasant Valley, and they're going to say it's declined. So can't always trust the players out there.
And remember, coming up tomorrow, we'll have 2 more games, full games for you. These are 3 halves. Tomorrow is full games. Welborn and Weaver will face each other at 5 p.m. in a full game. And then Alexandria and Sachs will cap off the night. And you just heard Frank Tucker talk to John earlier about how excited they are. They are the ones who really put this thing together, put this thing in motion. They'll have a chance to showcase themselves tomorrow night.
Hudson throws it deep over the middle and cannot connect with Cody Bentley. Hit him right there in the hands, but it was a tough jump, turnaround catch. He didn't really have the position up there, but it was a good throw by the 8th grader nonetheless. And it'll be now 4th and 8.
That's a play that head coach Larry Strain knows he could probably go back to, because he was wide open on that. Threw it just a little short. Bentley upset with himself after that play, but they'll have another chance to run that a little bit later on. This is also a good time to see what works against other competition. After a long time of practice with each other, of course, the defense will hear the offensive calls. They know the sets. They know the calls. They know where the ball's going, so to speak. So it's a chance to get it and play against some fresh ears, people who don't know the play calls, and see how it works in competition.
As a defensive player, you always love to hear the offensive coach in practice. Run it again. Yeah, that way, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I'll look great, coach. I'm going to earn that starting spot. You keep doing this for me. So we'll go to break. Here's 21-0 right now. White Plains trailing PV. 5:57 to go in the second. Back for more in a moment.
At Welborn, it's all about togetherness. We over me.
At Walter Welborn High School, we value tradition, pride, and hard work. Traditions are the glue that bind us together. Our pride keeps our heads held high in spite of adversity. It keeps a Welborn Panther going when the weight of the world is on us.
Walter Welborn High School Student Council.
Who's got that beat? That WWHS beat.
We got that beat. That WWHS beat. And it goes like...
Walter Welborn High School FFA.
PYH 423.
Walter Welborn High School softball. Yeet! To draw or not to draw. Walter Welborn High School Art Club.
Our values do not exist in isolation, but are interwoven into both our academic program and extracurricular activities. It's always a great day to be a Panther. Go Panthers!
21-0 Pleasant Valley leading White Plains in the first game of tonight's kind of round-robin setup. As we mentioned, Frank Tucker talked about earlier. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Calhoun County Commission and also by Regional Medical Center in Anniston. So 1st and 10. PV setting up offense again. Again, they've got a lot of their starters on the sideline and trying to give them some rest because they'll be asked to come back out a little bit later as well. Going to be tackled for a loss on that one. Loss of about 3. So it'll be 2nd and 13 from the 26.
A nice play there by the White Plains defense. And this defense actually played pretty well. I mean, the defense has allowed 3 scores on the board. Starters really allowed 2 scores. But this White Plains defense has played pretty well in spurts. But just give it up to this more experienced Pleasant Valley offense, especially when the starters were in. They were a well-oiled machine.
Nice give up the middle. It looks like they're going to be just short of the original line of scrimmage. It just looks to me like you got a team that looks like they've been together for years and one that looks like it was put together, well, 9 days ago. Right. Exactly what this team was. I mean, they haven't even evaluated these kids yet, really. I mean, you got to think about it. This is the first time they've seen them in pads in a real setting. You know, Jeff Davis knows these kids. He's seen these kids for 10 years. Right. He's seen them grow up through Little League, and, I mean, they're probably 14, 15 years old. I mean, since they first put pads on at 6. Right. He's at least known something about them, so it's a little difficult situation to come into if you are White Plains, but nevertheless going to be 3rd and looks to be 12 now. 4th and 12 as the carry was stopped short of the line of scrimmage again. So we're going to have another punt going back to White Plains and see if the Wildcats can't get on the board. They got time, about 4:15 left to go here in the second quarter before we break and watch the Ohatchee Indians step onto the field tonight.
And that should be an interesting contest as well because you have 2 new coaches going against one another. And so I'm sure that is a topic that will be brought up several times as White Plains and Ohatchee do battle. It's Larry Strain versus Scott Martin over at Ohatchee. Larry Strain coming from Woodland with a lot of success. Scott Martin coming from Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa with a lot of success. And yes, we are talking about that Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa. Yeah. The one that's in Class 6A.
You know, that's the funny thing about it, too, because if Larry Strain doesn't get this White Plains job, all the talk is about Scott Martin. Right. I mean, because that is just such a monumental hire for the tribe over there on the creek bank. But, you know, it's the fact that even though he's coming from a larger school, Larry Strain's name, because we've known what he's done. Right. He's been in the vicinity of the Pigskin Roundup viewing area. So we all know exactly who they're getting. We know, you know, what he's done. We've seen it kind of up close and personal where, you know, Martin's coming from the other side of the state. It's a little bit different, but that is an outstanding hire. So it's going to be a great job or a great fun to see both these teams kind of progress under the new leadership. Fumble on the snap, and it's a scrum down at the 45-yard line. Do not know who came up with it. And they are going to say it's going to be recovered by Pleasant Valley. Wasn't able to get a number on that, but I know that's got to be disappointing for Strain and company because they had great field position, time to get something on the board and create some momentum, at least going into the second game of tonight, and they fumbled the opening snap.
And that's exactly what will bother every single coach because if you don't know the plays, that's one thing. If you don't know the formation, that's another thing. But when you put the ball on the ground, most times or not, you can look at the turnover ratio. You can tell teams that win, the teams that don't win. The teams that are really successful and the teams that are really consistent and the teams that aren't. And you just cannot give the ball to the other team. But heads-up play there by Pleasant Valley, getting their second strip and second recovery of the game.
So you got two backs in the backfield along with the quarterback. Handoff going to be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. As Chance Ferguson, the junior running back, is going to be tackled for no gain. So Elijah Borders coming in, the junior quarterback. Hadn't really been able to see the success, but of course, when he comes in, the younger running backs come in as well. So
it's also a good chance for coaches to kind of tinker with positions.
Yeah.
If players have been at one position and rotating to another throughout the spring, you can now try them out at two different positions.
Nice quick handoff after the bad snap. It's going to be a big gain over the left side down to the 32-yard line. That is going to be Ethan Borders, a 9th grade running back. But I think you got to tip your hat here to Borders, who has a high snap, is able to get it down quick enough because he's got to get that snap and also get it to a man that's streaking in from his right. And that's a good job by the junior quarterback to get it off. And now it is 1st and 10 down at the 32-yard line. PV looking for more offense tonight.
Borders and Borders connection worked really well there for Pleasant Valley. And here they come right back in that same set, the same set we've seen a lot tonight.
Handoff, Borders again. Going to spin his way down for a gain of about 1. 31-yard line is where it's going to be spotted. 2:30 to go here in the final quarter of this matchup. Caleb Turner, who's had a pretty good game so far.
This is the ERA King player to watch for the game. Caleb Turner, right as he steps off the field, you can still take a look at him. He will be one that the Wildcats rely on heavily as this year goes along, and also as this spring jam rolls along, because he will be in there with his compadres against Ohatchee coming up in the next game.
And it's a bad snap. Loose ball on the ground at the 38. And it looks like it's going to be recovered by PV anyway. It's going to be 3rd and long with less than 2 to go. So less than 1:45 to play now. They 3rd and long. We'll see how they play this with Jeff Davis. Draws up here on this 3rd and long. There's so much time ticking off the clock there at 1:30.
Last time down in the red zone, they went for it on 4th and 5. So you're right, interesting strategy to see how they play this one here on 3rd and long.
Got 2 receivers out wide, 2 running backs behind the shotgun quarterback. Handoff up the middle. And it's going to be a modest gain of about 4, maybe 5, down to the 34-yard line. And it looks like it's going to be 4th and 12. Now less than a minute to go.
Playcoxon High School football run 25 seconds long. So the referee calls it in play. It's about a 22 odd difference between game clock, play clock.
I want to mention again tonight's game between Pleasant Valley and White Plains, brought to you by the Calhoun County Commission and also the Regional Medical Center in Anniston. Borders takes a snap, fakes the handoff to the younger Borders, and we got a whistle on the field. We delay a game on PV, so back it up 5 more yards. Not really sure if that's going to have too much of an effect on how they handle this 4th down. It doesn't look as though they're going to punt it. Not really going to get much of a look there. They're just going to want to see, give them another chance to run another snap.
At this point, you just take one of the plays that's been working well and see if you can run it here and get enough yards for a 1st down. As we see another flag come out.
And that's sophomore Nick Howard now at quarterback for PV. So we've seen 3 Raider quarterbacks get snaps at different times so far in this first half. And that's going to be a flag down. So back him up 5 more yards. And I think Coach Davis has seen quite enough now. He's going to sit out the punter and just punt this one away and put the nail in this game.
It's been a relative good game here for Pleasant Valley. Up until the last 2 snaps, they hadn't had many turnovers. And many penalties as well.
And that punt's going to be down to the 27-yard or 28-yard line. And that's where White Plains will take over for the last couple of snaps with 14 seconds to go.
And there is a good look at your player of the game, Drew Lewiski, here with 14 seconds to go. It's our player to watch, ERA King player to watch. For Pleasant Valley, he scored a touchdown on run, scored a touchdown through the air. This is his first time at quarterback for the Pleasant Valley Raiders.
And if anybody was wondering if he could throw the ball, he had a beautiful pass earlier. Hit the streaky tight end on just a little go route there off the line of scrimmage for a 56-yard touchdown pass. And he has looked very impressive so far tonight. Nice little pass and catch, likely going to be the last snap of tonight's contest. It's going to be a gain of about 6 as the time ticks down. Pleasant Valley, impressive in the first half of tonight's action, 21-0 over White Plains. As we mentioned, it was a team that looked like it had been together for a long time against a team that had been formed together about 9 days ago. White Plains will have plenty of time to make up those mistakes and come back out on the field a different team come fall.
Absolutely, and as you see, the great sportsmanship here. They will treat these things like full games. Take a good look at the coaches getting to know one another, probably know each other through those coaching circles. Jeff Davis and Larry Strain. These are two good ones. These two good guys that have been in and around successful football for a very long time. Jeff Davis was a fantastic player at Glencoe, won a state championship back in the 70s, and Coach Larry Strain was a good athlete himself over there down in Randolph County. And so both these coaches here, now in Calhoun County, looking to make the most of their teams, most of their seasons. And both teams have got off to a pretty promising start, and they'll both see Ohatchee a little bit later on, so they'll get to test their mettle against different opponents, which I know they're pretty excited about.
It's an amazing thing, too. These two teams, when they hit the field tonight, they're no strangers to one another. They have actually played every year since 1982, right, in the regular season.
Right.
Very evenly matched battle as well. 18-14, White Plains had the advantage. And tonight, Pleasant Valley gets the best of this one. 21-0 is your score in the first matchup of tonight's action. John Holder is sidelined with the head coach and the player of the game. John?
All right, Coach is Jeff Davis, the player of the game, Drew Lewiski. And, Coach, let's begin. Obviously, without question, your team came out ready to play. The team was just, I think, it really had their head in the right place, it seemed like, from the beginning.
Well, we changed the team around our place this spring. Our catchword was intensity, and coaches are going to bring it, and players are going to bring it, and if they're not, we're going to get rid of all of them. So, they got a choice. They need to have intensity or they can go on home. But we're going to change our team a little bit.
You had a lot that you had to be pleased with. What was maybe the top 2 or 3 things that you liked about your football team?
Effort. I thought effort was there. I thought last year we lacked giving effort for 4 quarters, and I think the effort was there. Even with the young kids, they lined up and they gave us great effort, and that's what we're looking for. We can get 15, 20 kids, give us great effort. We can win on Friday night.
This guy was a running back for you last year and a darn good one. You've switched him to quarterback, and pretty good first performance, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, he came out here last spring, and Lucas got hurt first and second play of the ball game, and he ended up playing quarterback all night. Kind of our plan. We hoping the Borders kid comes along so that we can turn around and hand it to him, 15, 20 times a ball game. If not, we're just going to run him 15 or 20 times from quarterback.
Sounds like a good plan. He had a good game. Drew, you're the player of the game. Tell us about the switch from running back to full-time quarterback.
It ain't too bad, pretty much doing the same, just getting the ball earlier. I ain't having to wait for somebody else to give it to me.
You had some good runs tonight. I know your offensive line opened up some good holes, but what's different about running the ball as a quarterback as opposed to running it from the tailback position?
Well, you don't have as much time waiting on somebody to make a block for you. You don't have the fullback getting up there. It's more of a one-on-one situation sometimes, but, it ain't as bad. I like it, too.
Congratulations on a good game and congratulations, Coach Davis, on a good game and good showing. So we've got Pleasant Valley going to take a break now, guys. We'll have Ohatchee and White Plains coming up in quarter number 2 or game number 2 here at Burgess Snow Stadium.
Thanks, John. Good job on the sideline. Congratulations to Jeff Davis and also Drew Lewinsky, the ERA King player of the game. Boy, he said that he liked, it wasn't too much of a difference going from running back to quarterback. It certainly didn't look like it tonight. He looked like he was right on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Davis talked about how he played a little bit of quarterback last year, so wasn't brand new to the position, but looked outstanding today, promising for the fall.
Very good, both running and throwing, as they win the night 21-0 over White Plains. The Indians and Wildcats take on next at Burgess Snow Field. Stay with us for more action.